My name is Clay Lowe. I'm a farmer in Wakefield, Virginia. Farm with my dad and my brother. We make up Cedar Point Farm. Standing here with the next generation of our crew, my oldest daughter, Harper.
Hi.
We're standing in a peanut field we're post-harvest. It's November now. Peanuts can present a challenge with weed control because they are not genetically modified the way a lot of our crops are, and therefore the selection of herbicides that we can choose from is pretty limited. Traditionally, the way that people have dealt with that is by using a lot of intensive tillage, especially prior to planting, and then early in the growing season as well. The way we've kind of moved into and chosen to handle that problem is we've really prioritized getting an Abruzzi rye established prior to peanut planting, specifically Abruzzi rye, because that species of rye really gets a robust growth in the late spring, mid-spring, I guess, and it also gets some fall growth. So the rye works really well because, like I said, it gets a really nice, robust growth. And it also has a really high C to N ratio, carbon to nitrogen, which basically means that rye residue will last well into the summer before moisture, heat, and soil microbes will break it down. It'll maintain a nice thick carpet or mat on the soil, which does a lot of prevention to keep weeds from coming up and competing with the peanuts. The other thing that does on our light sandy peanut soils is it preserves moisture, which is pretty critical, when you get to June and July. We've always used rye before peanuts, and used to be we would plow it under in, March. And we've gone now to a program probably really hyper-focused on it in the last 10 years or so, where we've really reduced our tillage. We do a strip till and plant in one pass with peanuts, utilizing that rye. And we've seen a lot of good weed suppression from that. We still have to use herbicides, but typically later in the season, where we can kind of gain control and we get ahead of the weeds with the rye as well. Something else it does well is if you can get it established and growing early enough, it kind of prevents the winter annuals from gaining a foothold because the rye can sort of smother them out throughout the early spring and the late fall. So that's another really good benefit for it there. When peanuts produce flowers, once they start to hit the reproductive stage, they make a flower. That flower turns into a peg, which then grows off of the peanut plant and penetrates the soil. At that point, that's where it actually makes a new peanut for seed. With the cover crop, we've seen obviously no issues with it. If anything, the soil should be soft and moist and in really good condition for that peg to penetrate the soil and develop a peanut, which is what we're trying to sell and grow. So we've seen no issues there, and if anything, I would think it would create a very good environment for that to occur. The other thing the rye does, obviously, is these sandy soils are prone to erosion, and rye, like any good cover crop, puts down sort of an equivalent root mass to its above ground biomass, and when you have that, it reduces erosion, saves that soil there for the next generation.